Hello there, happily married woman. It is Dr. Siobhan Parat here, founder of Relatable. It's been a minute since I have done a live stream just for you all. I hope technology is cooperating with me. I'm actually going to check because I'm doing this from my computer. So I'm just going to check on Facebook right now. It looks like I am there. So hello. I am excited to be with you. It is March 1st, and I love the beginning of a new month because there's just something new and exciting and fresh, and I'm excited to tell you a little bit about what's going on this month and what I'm going to be doing with the content that I share with you all. But first, you need to know that this is my birthday month. Okay, so I am one of those women who wants everybody to know that it's their birthday and all of that good stuff. And this is a milestone year for me. I turn 21, so I'll be finally of legal age. Just kidding. So this is 40 for me. This is 40. My birthday is in a few days. March 12th, so write that down. But anyways, as I approach this 40th year, I've found that I've been incredibly reflective about what's happening in my life, what's happening in my marriage, what's happening in my business, what's happening as a mother. And I'll just say that if you're making comments, if you join me live and you're making comments, I can't see them right now on my computer, but I will check my feed on my phone. So I'll make sure I respond to any questions you have. But anyway, so I've been really reflective. And, as I thought about what is going on in my own personal life and how I could use my own experiences to motivate, inspire, and encourage you, I kept thinking about a mirror and the importance of a mirror and what a mirror does for us, right? And so if you saw my post earlier today, on the first post, I'd asked this question, like, when you look in the mirror, what is the first thing you see and think about yourself? And let's just be honest, right? As women, we get so caught up in what's wrong about our appearance. We get so caught up in the fact that, things may be sagging a little bit more than they were a few years ago. We get so caught up in the weight we might have put on over the years. And so a lot of times when we look in that mirror, we don't actually love what's coming back at us, right? We may think back to decades ago when things were looking much better on our face, when things were looking much better in our whole bodies. And so we sit there and sort of look at what's going wrong, right? We look at the negatives about ourselves. And I think the same thing happens in marriage, right? And so when things aren't how they used to be, we have a tendency to look at all that's going wrong now, right? And sort of looking over our shoulder, wishing that things were the way they were years before. And, many of you who have seen me before know that that's not a really helpful thing to do. It's not productive. It doesn't make you feel good. And it really sort of puts you in a down mood. And what I find really interesting is that when we look in the mirror, right, and I found this quote that sort of inspired this for me, but when we look in the mirror, we don't blame the mirror, right, for the reflection that's coming back at us. We don't look at the mirror and say, it's your fault, or the lighting is bad, or, I need to get another mirror, there's a smudge on it, right? We don't really point the finger at the mirror, but we really are able to see clearly that this is us, right? This is me. I have blemishes on my face. I have gray hairs. I have wrinkles. I have a few extra pounds I'm looking at, right? We're able to, when we look in that mirror, really see ourselves. And oftentimes what happens is if you don't like the reflection that you see, what do? You try to fix yourself, right? So I know for myself that sometimes I'm like, all right, well, that pimple right there is showing, so I need to put some cream on it, or I need to put some makeup to cover it up because I don't like looking at it. Or, I need to get my eyebrows done, or I need to put some mascara on, or I need to get some better clothes that suit my body shape now after the kids. And so we really look at ourselves in that mirror, honestly, and we make adjustments, right? We make the proper adjustments to look and feel the way that we want to look. And I think that's great, right? But when it comes to our marriage, right, when we look in the mirror of our marriage, what do? 9 times out of 10, we actually point the finger outside of ourselves, right? We point the finger at our husband. We point the finger at the situation surrounding our marriages. And we don't first acknowledge the reflection that's staring back at us, right? We don't automatically think like, well, I need to fix myself in order to fix my marriage. It's much easier to look at our husbands and all that he's doing wrong, or all the things outside of ourselves, like we're too busy to work on our marriage. We don't have the money to invest in the help to help our marriage get to a better place. We don't know what to do. And so we sit in this stagnant place of unhappiness, of frustration, of not liking what is coming back at us, right? We don't like the reflection of what's happening in our marriage, but we're not doing anything to change that common denominator. And that common denominator is you, right? So your marriage, like anything in your life, is a reflection of you. So the things that you don't like about your marriage are actually within yourself, right? So if you feel like there's a disconnect between you and your husband where you don't spend enough time together, you have to turn that mirror on yourself and look at what are you doing to contribute to that, right? Because you're playing a role. And it's so easy to just, again, when we look in that mirror, to point the finger at our husbands, to point the finger at someone else. We like put the mirror on the outside situation rather than turning it back on ourselves. And so as I think about this month of March, and I think about reflection, and I think about what I believe will really help you achieve the breakthrough that you want in your marriage, I am focusing on this theme of a good look in the mirror. And we all need that from time to time, right? It's almost like, if you're out somewhere and you're eating dinner and you get some salad stuck in your teeth, you want someone to tell you, right? You want someone to sort of point out the things that you may not always see, that you may not always remember. And my job as your relationship coach and your marriage coach is to point those things out to you, to sort of bring to the surface those things that are operating underneath all of the frustration and all of the anger and all of the bitterness, resentment, all of the communication issues, all of the, feeling alone and unloved and unappreciated. My job is to shine the mirror and the spotlight on you, right? So that you can see how you play a role in that. And not just for the sake for you realizing that you play a role in it, but to empower you to actually do something about it. Because if everything that's wrong in your marriage is your husband's fault, then there's nothing you can do to change it, right? If the only way you're seeing things is what he's doing wrong, then what? Then what can you do about it, right? You can't make him do anything. And I'm sure you've tried, and I'm sure you've seen that it just doesn't work, right? And so as we think about taking a good look in the mirror throughout this month, it's really about the ways that we can be aware of our own behaviors, our own, parts of ourselves that we need to change, that we need to modify, so that we can achieve the things that we want in our marriage and in our lives overall, right? Because you know that when things are not good in your marriage, everything about your life is just a little bit bad, right? You don't enjoy going to work. You don't enjoy spending time with your kids. You don't enjoy so many things in life because that marriage relationship, that connection you have with your husband is so essential to you, right? Because you guys are united as one. And when you're not in a good groove together, then you as an individual aren't in a good groove with anything else. And so again, this month we'll be looking at ourselves, turning that mirror on ourselves, and really examining the things that we don't always see, that we don't always notice, because we've been pointing the finger of blame on our husband or on our external situations. And so that's what I just wanted to give you a preview. I am going to be back with you very soon to share more posts, ideas, thoughts about this good look in the mirror. But I did just want to pop in and say hello, because it has been a minute, and I know we have a lot of new members. And so if you are a new member, if this is your first time seeing me, meeting me, hearing me, I just want to say hello and welcome. I'm so glad that you found yourself here. As I said before, I'm a relationship expert and marriage coach, and I work with women to develop the mindset and skills to create a happier and more loving marriage, all without, and this is the big part, all without having to make over the husband, right? Time and time again, when I talk with women and ask them, what are the things you want to see change in your marriage? It's always about what the husband should be doing differently. And I believe, and I know, and I coach my clients on this all the time, that the quickest way to fix your marriage is to fix yourself. The best way to make the improvements you want to see in the relationship with your husband is to make the improvements in yourself, right? So many times we know there are things that we just need to be doing differently, that we need to be more patient, that we need to get control of our anger, that we need to be more understanding, that we need to listen, right? We know that ourselves, and our husbands are probably telling us that in more ways than one, yet we just can't do it, right? You can't do it consistently. You don't see why you need to do it, or you're waiting for him to change before you change. But the reality is he's not going to change until you change, right? Because he's responding to you. He's reacting to you and how you are. And so if you're able to take that good look in the mirror and identify the ways that you can do things differently, then he's going to have to respond differently, because he's responding to a different version of you, a better version of you, the version of you that will take responsibility for the things within your control and be intentional about making them better. So that's the work we have in front of us this month, is to take a good look in the mirror, because we're grown women, right? We are grown women, and it's time to be mature, right? It's time to stop playing games in our marriage, right? This is not 7th grade, and it's time for us all to step up to the plate, to take that good look in the mirror, and to begin to change the things we know we need to change about ourselves. And that's what this group is all about. It's called Happily Married Woman. And that is not in any way because we have these perfect marriages. But being a happily married woman is all in your mindset, right? It's all in your perspective, that you can choose to be happy any moment, no matter what's going on around you, no matter what your husband's doing or not doing. The choice to be happy is always yours. You control how you feel. He doesn't make you feel anything. You do that by the thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, the attitudes you adopt. And so again, as we look in the mirror this month, we're going to be examining those things. We're going to be looking at, what are the things you're thinking? What are the beliefs you hold that are contributing to your unhappiness? And how can you change them? So I hope that you will stay tuned, turn your notifications on. Facebook is so funny sometimes. If you don't like posts, if you don't comment on posts, it takes that to mean that you don't care about the content being delivered, and it will sort of mute the things that you actually want to hear. So if you resonated with anything I said in this video now or any of the posts I've shared with this group, then make sure you add this group to your favorites. Make sure you turn the notifications on so that you don't miss a thing that's happening here. So I am really excited to show my face in the place. It's been a minute, like I said. And again, welcome new members. Hello, my veteran members. And I will be back with you very soon with more content as we all take a good look in that mirror. All right, have a great evening. Bye-bye.